What is up, guys, gals, do you awesomeans and gamers of different shapes, sizes, and all those other wallabaloos? It's me, Josh, aka Noir Proxy, bringing you some Monster Hunter World today on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and I'm actually starting to think this game's pretty freaking awesome. I have had quite a lot of fun. I've actually been having a cool little adventure. I'm also using this unusual female bone charm armor-wearing badass, or badassette. I'm always getting confused when it comes to the female version of things because it makes it sound even more awesome when you do that. But look at my cool new armors. Like, I ended up finding this kind of like new armor set that I can have for my arms. Like, obviously you can have it for the entire body, but seeing as I am a complete noob, I thought to myself, you know, why not have this really cool like stabby thing on my wrist? Like, even though you don't, I think it's like a gardening spade. So it's not even for stabbing. It's just for like if you want to plant some daisies or something, you know. I mean, why not? I mean, you always got to do a spot of gardening, and you know, got to look after those. Got to have to look after those tulips and those daisies and anything else that smells pretty. But we are actually finding today a giant slugfish because you know that's a thing now. This is an unusual thing as well when it comes to fighting the monsters and everything too, is that I assume that you're supposed to be using elemental kind of like ammo types and weapons against the foes, but you can't really do that when you're not really accessible to like anything when it comes to like say getting those ammo types materials and stuff as well, because I found like things like thunderbugs. Now thunderbugs are really good for using on crafting, should I say, like the traps and stuff. Like if you want to get like it's just called a thunder trap or something, then you would use a thunderbug. And I was thinking, well, wouldn't you also use those because they'll be able to coat like some kind of lightning? I actually just fell in poo there. I mean, why not? But we're also fighting this water slug fish thing, and it's kind of intimidating. It's kind of like a water level in a sense, and who loves water levels? Pretty much nobody. And as you can see as well, running through muddy water is not a fun feat in itself. Have Eugene there, and also a A-lister Palico. You can actually find these Palico cat friends scattered around the map sometimes, and they will actually help you on your journey. So like the A-lister Palico seems to be some kind of badass hunter melee fighting cat, which is kind of cool. Obviously using my bow, I have a brand new bow. It's like the bone bow, but it also has these like, I think the animal that I killed or the monster was called a puke or something. It was kind of like a poison peacock lizard dragon. Don't quote me on that. But it's still a really cool bow. It has a bit more damage to it. It also allows me to use a different coating. This is something I figured out as well, is that different bows have different coating usages. So like if you use the iron bow, you can use power coating, which I assume gives you the ability to use more damage with the coating. But then if you say have this bow, you have poison and paralysis coatings. So it's kind of cool that I've been able to figure that out on my own, I guess, because it was one of those things where it probably would have taken me like forever if I hadn't actually had to sit through and look into it myself. You know, if I had just waited for some tips, then I might have been doing this whole game like without the coatings and things. But haven't actually done that just yet, even in this fight. Like, I'm just still using my standard arrows, I guess you could class them as. There's also the close range coating which comes with this bow, and from what I can understand, it just kind of limits the range but increases the damage. It's kind of like a shotgun arrow in a sense. And I do actually use it in this fight. So this is the one thing not to forget, is that I am actually like using everything at my disposal here. Actually using a flashbug there, which is actually in the environment, to daze the enemy, then using my charge attack, which I think is called a power shot. Uses triangle and circle. Really love it though, how you kind of like scrape the ground to like light the match of the arrow. Get a little bit too overconfident with the arrow there though, and try and pwn the enemy, and it just kind of like charges into me, so I tried to go for a triple shot, and it was just like a really bad idea. Also, trying to get my health back. This thing is doing so much damage to me, and I feel like maybe this bone armor is not going to be doing a very good job in the future. My little Eugene trying to heal me there, which I think is really, really cute, but got punched out of the way. Just going to run away like a coward, trudging through the water and stuff. Eugene actually faces this thing head on. I'm actually going to try and use melee weapons a little bit more in the future as well, because I feel like maybe just sticking to the bow is probably like a really bad idea. There are probably actually some really cool kind of usages of using the melee weapons. There are so many different melee weapons as well compared to the like ranged attacks and stuff. Like here I was actually able to knock off a piece of armor from this Gerapapatopodus or something. We're gonna call it a slugfish because it looks like a freaking slugfish, but I think you can shoot the fins off it. I don't know what that does. I don't know if it actually has any kind of like beneficial effect. got shot at with poo again. I mean, it really needs to stop doing that. Obviously, I know it's mud. I mean, come on, you don't have to correct me when it comes to that. I understand. But it still looks like poo, and it seems a little bit more funny when you think about it like that as well. One thing to note, too, is that if it says that the arrow is out of range, it won't actually be out of range. You can't actually hit an enemy if you do line up very good. So it's kind of like if you have a standard arrow, and you kind of like arc it, the fall of the arrow will actually still hit the enemy. It might not do much damage, but you can actually do that. And the other thing to do is that you can actually do a power shot too. So as you saw there, I was able to, I think it was like 2 shots before the one I just attempted, was actually kind of like in the distance, and I was able to hit the enemy with that power shot even though it said out of range. And so that's kind of useful, that's kind of cool. The enemy is actually running away here, which kind of means that we're going to move onwards into the second stage of the fight. You actually saw the A-lister Palico though taking on a giant fish crocodile, because why not? It seems to be this whole thing where the Palicos are way more badass than I am, and they're just little cat creatures, and for some reason I'm this full-on kind of like, what would you say, fully-fledged hunter, I guess you could say, and for some reason the Palicos are just way more badass than me. I feel like I really need to look in the mirror and question myself when it comes to why I'm a hunter, and maybe I should just stay home and make sandwiches for everybody, because these Palicos are being really, really badass, eating some well-done steak here. I've actually been able to master the art of cooking, which is very, very good. So one thing you can do is actually gain stamina back by cooking meat, by capturing or just killing standard little creatures around the world, like the deer and the kind of like herbivore animals and stuff. They will give you meat, and then you can actually create steak, and you can have like well done steak, or you can have burnt steak and stuff, and if you cook it correctly you have the well done steak, and that allows you to get better stamina in your bar and stuff, so you can actually fight on even longer within the maps, which is kind of cool. Love how my little Palicos just kind of like wandering around all these little dinghies. I think they're so cute. I mean, they're so freaking cute. I just want to smush their faces. They're not doing much. They're getting kind of like covered in water and bitch slapped by the tail, but they're throwing boomerangs. I mean, that's something, right? Been able to knock down the enemy fish onto its side here. It's going to go for a power shot. There we go, right in the noggin. That's what you want to see. Is there actually kind of anything else I can do against this thing? Like, obviously I'm holding my own for a little bit, but it's one of those things as well where I understand that this enemy is weak against lightning. So, like, if you are in the early days of Monster Hunter World, how do you get lightning stuff? Like, I don't really... Is it one of those things where you just have to hunt a lightning type of enemy, and then you get the armor bits for it to have the lightning stuff? Like, isn't there, like, a lightning bug that can allow me to have lightning arrows or something? I'd have assumed that like lightning arrows would be good against like water-based creatures, or fire would be really good against like grass like Pokemon, you know. This whole thing is just like freaking Pokemon but with ammo, so instead it's like fire arrows, I choose you. But it's not doing that for some reason, so I'm just going to use the standard ones and just be completely useless. Like, I ended up fighting I think it's called the Raffian Dragon or something like that, like the giant grey and green one, and I ended up getting bored of me and just running away. Like, I was really depressed. Like, I shot both its wings off, so I was thinking, well, not wings off, but like I damaged its wings to a point where it looked like it wouldn't be able to fly anymore, and it was kind of like just waddling around. Like, it was obviously like taking some serious damage from me during the fight, but then at the end it just kind of went, right, I'm kind of going to go now, and it just left the area, which kind of upset me, because I was thinking, I was trying to prove myself here and be really badass in front of the minions of other gamers of different shapes and sizes and wallabaloos, and I wasn't able to do that. I will show you the video of that, of me trying to fight this Raffian dragon, and it was just one of those moments where I was kind of like, I'm doing so well here after getting my ass handed to me by a giant pink T-Rex, and then it ends up just getting bored of me and running away. And so I was like, well, that didn't work, and so this thing now is swooshing around doing some kind of sexy mating dance. I don't know if that is actually a sexy mating dance. You let me know. You're all way better at Monster Hunter than I am. I'm still trying my best here. The A-lister Palico there throwing a boomerang at my Eugene, also getting my platform destroyed here. Do like this actually, that in the environments these can be destroyed by yourself, depending on the type of attack that you do onto the environments, which can actually do damage to the enemies. So like, I think I was fighting some kind of like dodo raptor kind of thing, and ended up like making it charge into all these rocks, and it ended up damaging itself because it was charging into the rocks. This fish has nearly killed me, by the way. Look at my health. I am really worried here. One more hit and I am completely out of this. Found some herbs though, but we're gonna heal myself. Eugene here also healing himself too, which I think is really good. He has this little flask and he like drinks Mountain Dew or whatever that is. I'm not too sure, but it's still really cool. I'm just really loving the animations in this game. There's some really, really good ones, and it's just kind of like appreciative that he puts so much effort into the animation styles, especially for the monsters, your character, even the Palico, like just the little things. Like I found that little pig. You may have noticed I had that little video about the pig, and even the little pig has a cute little animation. It's like everything has like really good animations, and I love that. I love that there's actually like stuff. There's, you know, there's like things to kind of like anything shape and small has that equal amount of love. And I just enjoy that. I think that's really, really cool. I think that's really, really awesome. And I'd love to know your opinion of it in the comment section below. But, still fighting this fish slug thing, and it's just not dying. It's just, this is the one thing I really wish, is that you could actually see the health bars of your enemies. Because it's that kind of thing as well, where if you're fighting it, then you end up seeing the little notification saying, oh, it's going to run away now, or in a few moments, so you better fight it quick. And you don't see the little skull above its head, which means that obviously it's dying, or it's close to, like, being pwned at least by your face. Then it'd be good to have, like, a little bit of a better warning. Like, maybe if you were able to get some armor that has some kind of, like, telescope kind of thing on it, so you can, like as a aesthetic, then it'll actually allow you to see the health of the enemy. Is there actually any way of doing that? I mean, obviously it wants you to be a hunter, I guess, is something that you should also appreciate about it, is that it makes you want to kind of, like, have that immersion where you're supposed to see the signs that the enemy is damaged, like with the puka poison bird thing, dragon, lizard, peacock, whatever you want to call it. Like, when it starts to get really hurt, its face starts to go red, which is supposed to mean that it's, like, obviously bloody and getting really, really damaged, but also angry at you, and so it's kind of like its final form of Super Saiyan, puku, peacock, whatever. And I guess that's kind of like a way of doing it. Like with this one, it starts to get covered in jizz for some reason. You can see all this ghost ectoplasm that's getting covered on. It tries to bunny hop me there for some reason. I'm not too sure why. Does that mean it has legs? I assume that means it has legs then. I'm not just slivering. It does actually have feet. No, it doesn't. Maybe are those feet? It's like it's got like fish fin feet. This whole thing is just complete contradictory. Like, its entire existence just doesn't make sense. Actually has these bigger things coming out now. So I'm thinking maybe that's kind of like it. It does have legs. Whoa. This thing has freaking legs. It is actually like a lizard or something. It's not a fish. Because that actually takes away the whole fish thing. It actually means that it is some form of lizard, I think. But either way, it's dropping down these little scale things called slinger thorns, and this actually allows me to shoot little damage. I mean, it doesn't do much. There's like 8, but it's kind of like additional damage. I think it's basically kind of like having like a free shot in the head. Like if you were to shoot in the head, obviously you do like 8 damage, which is like the orange numbers of damage value. But if you do it with like the little special ammo types for your little gauntlet thing, then that allows you to do like freebie kind of shots, but not with your main weapon, which is kind of cool, I guess. You can do different elements as well, which is kind of... Actually, maybe that's how you do the element stuff, is by using it with the slingshot thing on your wrist. I'm not too sure, but this enemy's looking quite tired. It's got the little skull, as you can see on the bottom left as well on the map, which means that it is actually nearing death. I just scraped my hand and that's really, really hurting. Oh my god, could someone kiss my finger? I just scraped and it's hurting, like really bad. Mother! But the Palicos are going in for the kill here. Also using my power shots. We are combining all damage outputs here to do something against this fish, slug, lizard, whatever you want to call it. It's called a Jutsumakabakadokubadus. And it's dead. There we go, people. Crashing down onto my Palicos, which should probably mean that they're dead, or at least drowning, I should. It does have legs. We have now come to the final thing, which is that this thing has legs, and it's dead, and it's covered in jizz for some reason, but we have defeated it. And that was fun. That was awesome. I feel like I've learned something today. That I'm not useless. That I can actually overcome things, even if it is a giant fish slug. But it has been me, Josh, aka Noir Proxy, bringing you some Monster Hunter World on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of it, or don't forget to drop a like, or subscribe, all those generic things that you can do when it comes to the YouTubes. But it has been me, Josh, and I'll see you all next time. If you're playing Monster Hunter as well, let me know on the PlayStation 4, and I will possibly play this with you, because I've not been able to find anyone in multiplayer, which is really depressing. But yeah, I'm just going to capture this little termite thing and put it in my butthole, because that's something that I do. Maybe I'll do some gardening as well. I do have like a shovel on my hand now. Anyway, I love you. Ciao.